November 9, 1989, 6:53 p.m. A confused spokesperson shuffles through papers he hasn't read. A reporter asks one question. His answer ends 28 years of terror in 4 words. But that's not the real story, because 2 years later, the entire Soviet Union collapses. Coincidence, or the greatest domino effect in history? May 8, 1945, Nazi Germany surrenders. But the Allies can't agree on what comes next. The solution? Cut Germany into 4 pieces. America, Britain, France control the West. Stalin's Soviet Union takes the East. Berlin, deep inside Soviet territory, gets the same treatment. 4 sectors, 1 city, and an open border. That becomes a problem. 1949, East Germany becomes a communist state. Life under Soviet control. Brutal secret police, food shortages, no freedom, and Berlin's open border becomes an escape route. Doctors walk to work in East Berlin and don't come back. Engineers visit West Berlin and vanish. Teachers, scientists, young people, the best minds fleeing overnight. By 1961, 5 million people have escaped. That's 1 in 6 East Germans. The economy is collapsing. June 15, 1961. Walter Ulbricht, East Germany's leader, holds a press conference. A journalist asks if they're planning to build a wall. Ulbricht's response: nobody has any intention of building a wall. 2 months later, he orders the unthinkable. August 13, 1961, 1 a.m. Operation Rose begins. 40,000 soldiers seal the border. By 4 a.m., Berliners wake up to barbed wire cutting their city in half. Families separated mid-breakfast. Friends trapped on opposite sides. Subway lines severed. Within days, the wire becomes concrete. Within months, a death trap. This wasn't just a wall. It was 2 walls, 11. 8 feet tall each, with a 160-yard death strip between them. Guard towers every 250 meters. 302 watchtowers total. Attacked dogs on chains. Anti-vehicle trenches. Raked gravel to show footprints. Floodlights, tripwire machine guns, and 11,000 soldiers with orders to shoot on sight. The official term, Antifaschistischer Schutzwall, the anti-fascist protection rampart. The real purpose, prison wall. But desperation breeds creativity. October 1964, 57 people escape through a 145-meter tunnel, the longest ever dug. September 1979. The Strelzik and Wetzel families build a hot air balloon from bedsheets and float to freedom. Some hijacked trains, others ziplined across. One man stole a tank and crashed through. Over 28 years, 5,000 people succeeded. But 191 didn't make it. August 17, 1962, Peter Fechter, 18 years old, tries to climb the wall. Guards shoot him twice. He falls into the death strip and bleeds to death while both sides watch. For an hour, East German guards follow orders, no rescue. West Berlin police can't cross. His screams echo across the city. His death becomes the symbol of the wall's brutality. And the world starts asking, how long can this last? June 12, 1987. President Reagan stands at the Brandenburg Gate and demands, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. But Gorbachev isn't listening to Reagan. He's listening to his collapsing economy. March 1985. Mikhail Gorbachev becomes Soviet leader. He inherits a disaster, economy in freefall, Afghanistan war draining resources, people starving. His solution: glasnost, openness, perestroika, restructuring. He loosens Communist Party control, allows criticism, opens elections. But here's the problem with freedom: once you give a little, people want more. August 23, 1989. Hungary, emboldened by Gorbachev's reforms, quietly opens its border with Austria. Suddenly, East Germans have an escape route. Thousands flood through. The communist grip is slipping. East German leaders panic. They need to do something, anything, and that's when the mistake happens. November 9, 1989, 6:53 p.m. Günter Schabowski holds a press conference. He's been in meetings all day. He's exhausted. Egon Krenz, East Germany's new leader, hands him new travel regulations, but Schabowski hasn't read them. An Italian journalist, Riccardo Aeman, asks, when does this take effect? Schabowski fumbles through papers and says, as far as I know, immediately, without delay. Except the regulations were meant for the next day, at 4 a.m., with permits required, controlled checkpoints, and no one told the border guards. Within minutes, West German TV broadcasts the news. Within hours, chaos. 10:30 p.m., thousands of East Berliners rush to Bornholmer Strasse checkpoint. Harold Yeger, the commanding officer, calls his superiors. No answer. He calls again, still nothing. The crowd grows, 20,000 people, chanting, pushing. Yeger has a choice: open fire on his own people or open the gate. 11:30 p.m. He opens the gate. The flood begins. People pour through. Climbing the wall, dancing, crying, strangers embracing. West Berliners hand champagne through the wall, and then they start tearing it down with hammers, with pickaxes, with their bare hands. The Mauerspecht, the wall peckers, demolish 28 years of oppression, one chunk at a time. By morning, the Berlin Wall, the symbol of the Cold War, is rubble. October 3rd, 1990, Germany reunifies. The wall is gone. But the story doesn't end there, because the Berlin Wall wasn't just concrete, it was a symbol. And when it fell, the entire communist world realized something terrifying. The system could be beat. November 1989. Czechoslovakia's Velvet Revolution, 500,000 protesters in Prague. The communist government falls in 10 days. December 25, 1989. Romania's dictator Nicolae Ceausescu and his wife are executed by firing squad after a 2-hour trial. Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, one by one, like dominoes, communist governments collapse, and in Moscow, Gorbachev watches his empire crumble. But here's what they don't tell you. Gorbachev's reforms, glasnost and perestroika, were supposed to save the Soviet Union. Instead, they destroyed it. Because once you give people a taste of freedom, you can't take it back. March 11, 1990. Lithuania declares independence, then Latvia, then Estonia. Then Ukraine, Georgia, Armenia. All 15 Soviet republics start demanding freedom. Gorbachev tries to hold it together. He sends troops to Lithuania in January 1991, 14 civilians killed. But it's too late. The Berlin Wall proved the communist system was hollow, and now everyone knows it. August 19, 1991. Communist hardliners have had enough. They stage a coup. Tanks roll into Moscow. They arrest Gorbachev at his vacation home in Crimea. Their message: we're taking back control. But something unexpected happens. Boris Yeltsin, president of Russia, climbs onto a tank outside the Russian parliament and declares the coup illegal. Thousands of Muscovites surround the tanks. Soldiers refuse to fire. Within 3 days, the coup collapses. The hardliners are arrested, and Gorbachev returns to Moscow, but he's powerless. Because the Soviet Union died on that tank with Yeltsin. December 8, 1991. Leaders of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus meet in secret in a hunting lodge in Belarus. They sign the Belavia Accords. The Soviet Union no longer exists. December 25, 1991. Gorbachev resigns on live television. 7:32 p.m. The Soviet flag is lowered from the Kremlin for the last time. The Russian tricolor rises in its place. 69 years, 15 republics, 293 million people. The Soviet Union is gone. So here's the question that haunts historians. Was Schabowski's mistake really an accident, or was it the greatest conspiracy of the Cold War? Some believe Gorbachev wanted the wall to fall, that he deliberately gave Schabowski those papers to force the issue. Others think hardliners set him up to embarrass the reformers. Schabowski himself gave conflicting answers until his death in 2015. But here's what we know for certain. One confused spokesperson, 4 words, and 2 years later, the Soviet Union collapses. Coincidence? Or the greatest domino effect in history, the man who could answer, took those secrets to his grave. The Berlin Wall fell in one night, the Soviet Union collapsed in 2 years, but the mystery remains forever. Subscribe for more history mysteries and drop your theory in the comments. Was this mistake planned or pure chaos?